Well, hello everybody, thank you for joining me on another video. As you can see from the description, this is part two of a two-part video that I'm making. Okay, so there's quite a few things to consider before you start putting together a get home bag. One of them is how far you're likely to have to walk to get home. You guys will know better than myself your situation, what you do, how far you travel. Some people use public transport, use a car, some people walk to work. So that's one consideration to bear in mind when you're putting together a bag. Other things to consider are what you actually wear. Now today, we're at Easter weekend, fabulous sunny day, I'm not far away from home. Even if it lashed it down now and I got soaked wet through, it wouldn't be a problem. If you're travelling further afield, let's say 5 or 6 miles, then it's going to be pretty miserable. So just be thoughtful about what you're wearing, what you wear every day, and items that you put in here that can help you have a more pleasant walk home if you need to. One of the other things to consider is footwear. What footwear do you use on a day-to-day basis or when you're travelling? If, let's say, for example, you're an office worker, maybe male or female, you wear proper shoes, leather shoes. Some ladies prefer high heel type shoes, that kind of thing. Maybe a good idea to either have a spare set of walking boots or trainers, something that's comfortable, something that you have walked in before, that you don't get blisters from. Have it in your car, have it in a cupboard at work, whatever. Have a separate pair of shoes if that's the case, if you need to do that. I mean, there's no hard and fast rules that you have to have a rucksack like this. You could have, let's say you're an office worker, you carry a briefcase. You could have a leather messenger bag or something like that. You know, it's just think about your situation and what you actually do. So think about the distance that you may have to walk. For me personally, I would say that 3 miles, 3-4 miles is doable without a get home bag. Any more than that, I would use mine, and I would suggest that you guys use one if you've got to walk. I mean, 3 or 4 miles, you could probably walk that in about an hour. So an hour's neither here nor there if you've got to walk. Just bear in mind, dress for the weather as we always try to, but in this country it's not always possible to predict the weather. Right, okay, so other things to consider is who else is with you. Maybe you've got children with you that may need a drink. Maybe you've got pets with you. Think about them. Because this is primarily to help you walk, basically. So there's a few important factors that come into play. 1 is footwear. 2 is how fit you are. 3 is keep yourself hydrated. There's nothing worse than having to walk and being parched. If you're feeling dehydrated, the damage has already started to happen. You shouldn't feel thirsty. So little and often sips is what I always do. That's what I recommend. The other thing is nourishment. Take a few snacks with you, that kind of thing. So I'm not going to bang on too much about all the different scenarios and you know, everything, because the possibilities are limitless on when you would need a get home bag. Like I say, if you're travelling in a car, don't be tempted to put a bigger bag, pack it full of stuff that you don't need, because at the end of the day you've got to carry it. I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube where they put all kinds of rubbish into a get home bag, like utility service keys for getting water in the city, and fire starting kit and knives and all that kind of thing. You don't need any of that. This is a no-nonsense, realistic get home bag. I'm based in the UK, but it does apply to other countries. So without further ado, let's have a look at the bag itself. Okay, so here's the bag that I've chosen. It is a rucksack type bag, made by Carrymore. It's an Urban and it's 20 litre, this one. What I've done is added some of these glow-in-the-dark little tabs for your zips. It has a double zip at the top. This opens like that, and it has one more zip there. This zip on the side has a pocket that just goes about there, and I've not got anything in it. I'm probably unlikely to use it as well, so I've not put one on there. Right, okay, so let's get the obvious out of the way. We've got two 1 litre water bottles full of water, so there's 2 kilos of weight. Again, try and keep the bag as light as possible. Okay, I'm going to go through the front pocket first. As you can see, there's other little pockets in here. Right, okay, so we've got a Sharpie pen. There is notepads in here, but Sharpie pen will always work on your arm if you need to write something down. We've got a pair of safety glasses. We've got some both hand wipes and some wet wipes in there in a Ziploc bag. Obviously, hot day, you could wipe yourself down with a wet wipe. If you get caught short, obviously you can use the tissues. In there we've got a lighter and an aerosol can. If you need to freshen yourself up, you can. You've also got a source of ignition, the two combined obviously. It's going to help you get a fire started if you need to, no problems at all. Everything I keep in a Ziploc bag, you will notice, or in a dry bag. We do live in the UK, and I know from experience that rucksacks aren't 100% waterproof. You do get some leakage into them. So anything you don't want to get wet, I suggest you put in Ziploc bags. Also, this time of year, we've got some sunblock. The last thing you need to do is get heat stroke in summer. We've got a small flashlight. That's primarily the first one I would use if I'm looking for stuff in my bag. Then we've got another lighter, only because of the fact that this one is one of them piezo ones and this one is a flint one. Also in that bag I have a 10 by 50 monocular, so if you're in an urban environment and you need to find your whereabouts by a road sign, then that is ideal. It's small, it's compact, and a head torch in there. Then we have the Rav Power. Now most people nowadays carry a mobile phone on them. This could be used as a navigation device. First and foremost, use your phone to call loved ones or people that need to know that you're going to be late home, what's happened, and when you're going to be expected, if possible. Let them know that. Failing that, you've got a torch also on your mobile phone. I carry this Rav Power. It's a 16,750 milliamp one. Also does have a little torch on the front of it. I use a Sony smartphone, and this can charge my phone from dead 4 times without me needing to recharge this. I might do a review on these at some point in the future. They're really good. Right, okay, I'm going to go into the main part of the bag now. Everything in here is in a dry bag. At the very back of the bag there is a kind of separate part there where I can keep maps, navigation, that kind of thing. Okay, so map of Britain. You don't have to have one of them, but I've got a spare one, so that lives in there anyway. I'll always have an OS map of the area. This is covers quite a large area from Runcorn all the way up to Crosby, including Liverpool. So I'll always have a map of the area that I'm in, and if I'm near any cities or if I'm in the city, I'll always try my best to get an A to Z or atlas map, call it what you will, book. This has road names in it as well, and the index of all road names in the city. So that's in conjunction with the monocular that's in there. If I can't see the road sign or it's quite a distance away, then the two go together. So that's navigation sorted out. Also in the map case is a compass and a pencil sharpener and pencil. If you don't know how to use a compass, I wouldn't suggest putting one in there. It's just going to be a waste of time. But yeah, if you do know how to use a compass, obviously most people have a compass with their maps. Next out of the bag is my two-way ham radio, amateur radio. This is a dual band radio. It can pick up commercial stations as well. So let's say, for example, I was in the city of Liverpool and something happened, I wanted more information. The first thing I'd do is tune into city radio, and then I could get updates on what's happening in the city centre. Failing that, like I say, I'm a licensed ham radio operator, so I could use this for contacting my nearest repeaters, or people in the area. You'll be surprised at how many ham radio operators there are in cities. I could use that, and they could probably tell me a bit more information that I don't know. So that's one thing that I keep in there. Along with the radio, I keep in what I call the comms pack. So in here I've got a list in this book. This is waterproof book. A list of all UK repeaters, or pretty much all of them. Then I've got a small non-waterproof notepad. I've got spare batteries, 2 spare batteries for this in there. One that works on 6 AA batteries, and the other one is a lithium-ion battery like the one that's on it presently. Also in there is a pencil pen and spare batteries for all the torches that I carry. You could go for a USB kind of powered torch and just use your RAV power, but I've chose to use quite a big one, and I've got a small one plus a head torch you've already seen. So that's just I think it used to be a shower bag or something, travel shower bag or something like that. So no need to put waterproof notebooks and things in there, because that wrapped over is pretty waterproof. Inside a dry bag, it's not going to get wet at all. Next out of the box is first aid kit. This is a very basic, simple first aid kit. If you're walking, the main injuries you're likely to have are muscle strain. So there's some kind of rapid pain relief muscle pain gel there. We've got some tuber grip in there, a few plasters, some painkillers, and micropore on one bandage, plus an alcohol wipe. The main part that you may need are these things. These are called dots, and they are blister packs. So as soon as you feel some heat coming up localised in your foot, get one of them on and you'll be fine. Again, everything's in a Ziploc bag. Everything's in the dry bag anyway, but just to double make sure, especially with first aid stuff, you've got plasters, things in there, you've got things that absorb blood, obviously, bandages, that kind of thing, so you want to keep them dry. So that's a first aid kit. Then we've got a spare pair of socks, always handy to have when you're walking. We've got some snacks in here. Now I've gone for beef jerky, high in protein. I've also got a high protein energy bar there. In summer I wouldn't suggest putting chocolate bars in, because it's just going to turn into a horrible melted mess. These couple of these do contain chocolate, but only small amounts. So we've got a raisin bar there, and we've got some kind of raisin berries with white chocolate shot there. Again, it's just a snack. You're not going to need a full-blown, meal. This is just to help you with your energy, so that you can get home. A couple more things here. You may have to walk home, not only in bad weather, but it might be night time. So I've got a high vis in there. Doesn't weigh very much, and I've also got a buff there. Hundreds of uses, but I've seen a lot of people put dust masks, separate dust masks in the bag. Well, there's no need with one of them. That can be used as a dust mask. And last but not least is my pair of Gore-Tex waterproof trousers. Yes, they are camo, but that's not a problem. They're really good. So I'll just put them to back in there. Right, okay, so I'm just going to very quickly run through everything again so that you can see what I've got. Again, you can tailor make it to you and think about what you need it for, think about how far you're travelling. So starting from this end, we've got the monocular, a spare battery and a head torch. This is a Petzl-Tikka, really good torch. First aid kit with blister packs and muscle rub plus tuber grip in there. We've got some, for summertime, we've got some sunblock. In winter, you wouldn't need this in there, so it's an item you could leave out. Also, some people like to carry some insect repellent. I'm unlikely to need that because I live in the city, so that's not going to be a problem. We've got a small torch. This one is powered by two AA batteries. We've got the RAV power that can charge my mobile phone up to 4 times. We've got some kind of communication device. You don't have to have a ham radio like this, you could just put a wind-up one or a battery-powered FM AM radio in your pack so you can tune into local stations. Okay, then we've got the snacks, some high-energy protein bars. Again, guys, I bought that and these things from Poundland, apart from the jerky. Split them down, you get like 6 in a box. I think they're £1 each, but these two you get like 6 or 3 in a box, so just split them down, make some packs up. Just bear in mind, if you're not using it, keep an eye on the best before date. Just check your pack every now and then, say 3 monthly, check that everything's still in date. And anything that you do use while your pack's on you, replace it straight away. So let's say we've got a spare pair of socks, then we've got the case that goes with the radio, we've got a notepad, we've got pencil and pen in there, spare batteries for any equipment that's going to use batteries, the torches, the head torch, and the radio of course. Then we've got some navigation maps with compass, pencil and pencil sharpener. We've got an A to Z of a street map with all street names in it, and we've got also an OS map and of the area, and we've also got a map of Britain in there. We've got some deodorant and another lighter in there. We've got some wet wipes, freshen yourself up with, and also some hand tissues. Again, once they're opened, you can leave them in here. They're self-seal in a Ziploc bag. They're not going to leak all over the place. We've got safety glasses, and today I'm using them, but usually I have these sunglasses in there as well. Like I say, there's some items in this lot that I use pretty much all the time. The RAV power is usually with me, so that doesn't live primarily in the pack, and it's quite expensive. That's like 25 quid for another one, but it's with me most of the time. I know where it is, as is with the radio. I know where that is most of the time, and I've usually got, in summer, my sunglasses with me, but apart from that, everything else lives in the bag all the time. Then right at the end, we've got our 2 litres of water. In winter, you could swap one of them out. I'd still recommend carrying at least 1 litre of water. Swap one of them out for a flask. The other thing that could be added to this kit is some hand warmers. What I do is put them in my gloves first before I actually need them, warm my gloves up, and then put my hands in the gloves with the hand warmers in them. Right, okay, so that's the items that I've chosen. All the items in the bag with the bag itself weighs just under 6.5 kilos, which some people may think is quite heavy, but don't forget 2 litres of water is 2 kilos, plus I've got quite a big torch in there. That's quite weighty. So yeah, it's a manageable weight for me. I'm not going to bang on too much. Please leave your comments in the description box below. I mean, I've not covered everything obviously, but I've tried to cover the major bases with this video. So I'm going to leave it here for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, this is part 2. I'll put part 1 in the description box below. Feel free to go and have a look at that one. That's about my life experience evacuating people and staff and things like that when the IRA bomb went off in Manchester 22 years ago, which is kind of provoked me to do this kind of video. And obviously I'm living in a city now, so get home bag, yeah, it's a good idea to have. So I'll leave it there, stop waffling as usual. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video sometime in the future. See you, guys.